Yo guys, so we are about to check out one of the best Brood games that I'd had in a long time. We actually managed to finish this game in under 20 minutes. So the first thing that I usually do is to place one web over there. And then we run straight to the lane and we place one web over here and one web over here, covering the whole lane. We tried to contest the rune together with our support, being Skyrif Mage, but in this game it was really hard because we played against Viper Pangolier, and Viper is just way stronger than Brood level 1. Brood is pretty bad level 1. So once we are back to the lane, I place one web on the side of the lane just to cover the big camp, and then I immediately draw the creep aggro to pull back the creeps onto my ranged. I want to try to play away from the enemies and like split the wave as much as I can, so I can stay in trees and last it out of the trees. Especially against this lane, like they have Lunar and Viper, which are really freaking strong together. Especially when Viper has the Lunar Aura and his poison, he can just harass enemies out of the lane like crazy. That's why we are trying to draw the lane to back to our tower. So on level 1 as Brood, you just want to play as passive as possible. Your first choice in terms of skills comes with level 2. If I feel like I'm allowed to hit the creeps and I don't need to secure the range against the enemies, I take my Insatiable Hunger, but in this game I took the Silken Bowler just because I feel like I need a little bit more secure for the range. Like it was very hard to secure the range against the double ranged enemies. So yeah, getting the range creep is pretty important in Brood because we want experience. Experience is the most important thing in Brood early. So basically all I'm doing is trying to play passive right now until I reach level 3. Level 3 is when we can try to make some plays. Once we get 1 point Silken Bowler, 1 point Insatiable Hunger, and 1 point in webs. Before the point we are still pretty weak. So level 3 is usually when we can start playing aggressive. But in this case, our Skyrif Mage pulled the lane back, so I just run here to take over the lane, and then I farmed lane behind the tower. This will usually make the enemy carry lose one wave, and then on me also losing one wave. So it's still pretty even, but that's what you want to do as support in lanes that are really hard early on. So my first big item choice in this lane is buying mana boots, so I can provide more mana for me for nuking the enemies and also for the Skyward Mage. If I wouldn't play with a Skyward Mage, I'd probably go for like boots into Soaring, but in this case I like the mana boots. It was probably a mistake by me to buy the Arcane booster before the boots, but it's probably not a big deal. Then I see the Skyward Mage fighting with Viper, I definitely want to join. Like, Viper is isolated, and I feel like we are stronger than them right now, so I just instantly run Viper. But still, my goal is not to overextend. Like, I know once we hit level 6, we can just play as aggressive as possible as we want onto them, and they can't do anything. So my Sky is like overextending a little bit. I'm just dragging the creeps, and I drag them in front of my tower just to stabilize the wave. As Brood, you usually want to play as close to your tower as possible every time you get a chance. Yeah, what I'm doing here is to just wait, like, out of the map. The melee creeps can't attack me, only the ranged, and then I just hold the creeps. Like, I messed up a little bit here, as you can see, I'm stuck, which is a mistake, and that's why the tower is attacking the creeps, but usually you just want to hold the wave in front of your tower. It was like a little bit of misplay by me. Not the biggest deal. So right now we reached level 5. But my Skyrif is feeding to the Viper. I tried to help, but then I realized that Luna is solo, and I just instantly run at Luna. I pop my Insatiable Hunger, I Silken Bowler her, I just run at her while she's alone. But now I feel like Viper will come back pretty soon, so I just run back, and also I don't want to lose too much last hits from the creeps. So Skyrif Mage is then TPing back to the lane. Luna's pretty low, so we can try to go for her. We should probably not overextend as much as we do here. Like, I was kind of overwhelmed of the damage that those two heroes can deal together, the Luna and the Viper, so I end up dying here, but we still get the kill on the carry, so it's not the biggest deal, and also we force a rotation on Pangolier. Also, our Batrider is TPing top at the same time, and he's killing the Viper. I'm not sure if it's worth to, like, commit the lasso for the post 5, but it's probably fine. Like, Dusa is free farming, so we are happy. So we are about to hit level 6. And we want to get the Soul Ring at this point. So I'm buying the Soul Ring recipe right now and flying it with the courier. And then once we hit level 6, I want to use my nuke as many times as possible. This is so important. I see this a lot on newer Brood players that they are not doing this. Like, I want to use the nuke twice on the first wave that I hit level 6. And then I check for the neutrals, they are still blocked. I should probably buy a sentry right now. But the Lunar already left the lane because she know that I can just run at her and she will die. There's nothing she can do. So what I will do is to farm the creeps. And then there's Viper. I want to dive Viper, but I know I don't have enough spiders yet. So I still try to get like 1 or 2 more neutral camps and waves to get more spiders. And then I can kill the Viper. So we farm 1 more creep wave. I place 1 web behind the tower. And then we basically just run at the tower to force out the Viper W. I immediately run at Viper, but she's smart TPing out, so what I want to do is to get the tower ASAP, because there's no enemy. Taking the tower is your first and major objective. The enemies use glyph, so I quickly go and farm 1 more wave. Like, I know that they can't defend this tower anyway, so delaying it by like 20 seconds is not a big deal. We just run back to the tower and quickly destroy the tower as soon as possible. I also check the mid lane to see what's going on over there. And then after destroying the tower, I want to invade the jungle. Like, I know Luna can only farm in their jungle. Like, Luna has a pretty small portion of the map. She can't do a lot, so I completely ignore the top lane, and I just cover the whole jungle. After seeing this, I know the only place Luna can be right now is in the triangle. Like, she's in none of the lanes, and also not in the top jungle, so she has to be in a triangle. So what I immediately do is to tell my team to run at the triangle. I see they're fighting there. And then I try to join as quickly as possible. Like, I know we are so much stronger than them. I can just kill the Lunar, kill the Viper. We get a lot of map control this way. We can ward the triangle. And then we also get the tier 1 tower mid for free. Like, 3 of them are dead. So we just run the tower. Or at least I do. Like, my team is securing the triangle, as you can see on the minimap. Which is probably a really good play by them. They know I can get the tower alone, so yeah, we just take the tower. And nothing they can do. So then on the minimap, I realized that there's a fight going on. Luna is pretty low, and we also have really good vision onto the triangle. Like, we are so much stronger than the enemies. I know that they have 0 heroes that can deal with me. Like, maybe Darkseer could. But in general, we are just way stronger if we play as a team. So we just give them 0 map control. Like, it's so hard for them to run at the top lane because the lane is in front of our tower. So they kind of have to play the bottom part of the map. And which we just don't allow them. And then I go and take the tier 1 tower bot. And the next item choice I go for is Orchid in this game. I feel like if I Orchid the Pangolier and also the Darkseer, they have a really hard time escaping. But if I don't have Orchid, both of them can get away really easily. Especially Darkseer, he can just search everyone and they can run away. So I just need an Orchid here. So then basically all I want to do right now is to play with my team. We're trying to play around the wards that we got. Like, the vision in the triangle is really good for us, so we just try to play around the mid lane, try to play the triangle and also bot lane. And then we can just go for the tier 2. Like, the enemies, they can't even leave their base anymore. They're just stuck in their base. So we just take all the towers for free right now. We get the tier 2 tower. I got my Orchid finished right now. So I try to make use out of the Orchid as soon as possible. I see that there's a fight going on. Pangolier used roll. That's basically all they have against me. So after they finish the roll, I immediately silence him. I run at him. I also get Snapfire Cookied. And then I just get a double kill onto Pango and Viper here. And the game is basically over for them at this point. It is 13 minutes. They've lost the tier 2 tower. They're completely stuck in the base. And we have a Medusa free farming. Like, there's no way they can win the game anymore. We take the next tier 2 tower. So right now I'm kinda out of webs, as you can see. I have 0 web charges, so I tell my team to chill. I don't want to do anything right now without webs. Also, you can see me using the trick that I described in the Brood Mechanics video that I released a few days ago. Like, if you check out the minimap right now, I'm spreading the spiders with the tab mechanic. Like, I'm basically right-clicking the minimap and tabbing through all the spiders so I can spread them out. And then, once I'm killing the camp, I'm just spreading them, like, even more. We get a kill on the Viper, not a big deal, and we just want to chill. So my next objective is to get the top tower, because I know they can't defend. Like, for some reason my team is fighting into the enemy base. I think the Medusa got hooked there, but there's not a whole lot I can do. I can just check out what is happening there, but the best move for me is probably to just take the tower. So somehow my team managed to get out of there without any deaths. I took the top tower for free, basically, without getting contested. Right now I have like 3 webs, so we can start doing some more plays again. But we definitely don't want to overextend too hard. So I'm trying to join my team in the mid lane. We are sieging the tower right now. Like, we are probably fine just sieging the tower without overextending too hard. If we check out Dusa's items, she has Manta style, Dragonlance. I think she's probably placing her body a little bit like too much in front. She could probably stay like low ground over here, which is fine. I don't want us to get walled, so I basically just let her siege and I'm like kiting in and out of the fight or like around the team. So we don't just all get like 5-man walled. At this point, the enemies have just given up the game. Like, usually what I would do in games like this, when enemies are still trying to fight, we would take like Roshan right now and then siege high ground with the Aegis. But in this game, from now on it's pretty much over. Like, the enemies gave up. So the enemies are still feeding some random kills, but like half their team is already AFK. So we can just end. For some reason, Dusa is still hitting the building in the bot lane. Which I think is unnecessary, but yeah, like the enemy team gave up at this point. They don't think they have a chance to win, so we just finish. So if you guys want to see more videos about Brood, feel free to check out the recent videos I posted lately. Have a nice day. Also, don't get hooked in a fountain like me.